Good morning. Here, let me move this board a little bit up. My name is Amy Hutchison. I'm a member of the board and the secretary. For those of you who are newcomers today, whether it is here in person or in Zoom, Seaview is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association, a denomination that is part of a liberal religious tradition that goes back hundreds of years. Seaview offers an open door to all who recognize and honor our principles and the values from which they are derived: interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, justice, and love, which is at the center of our values. These are values which call us to action and which make us accountable to one another. Here at Seaview, our commitment to the work we are called to do through these values is demonstrated in our mission, which is to provide a nurturing community, foster courageous spiritual growth, and inspire compassionate action. It is with that love and commitment that we welcome all of you, member, friend, visitor, and everyone in between, to worship at Seaview and to be a part of the journey with us. For the time being, for those of you who prefer to mask and who prefer to sit with others that mask, we have set aside the balcony as mask-only seating. This does not mean that people who want to wear a mask can't do wherever they would like to, but we want to make sure that this is one way we can be welcoming and inclusive to the many individuals who want to be an active part of this community. For those of you who want to sit in the balcony and who do not have a mask, some masks have been placed up there for your convenience. After the service, you all are invited to attend an in-person coffee hour in the social hall. Once again, good morning. Thank you all.
Taking the moon on a bended knee. Stare at the sky in the morning light. Pink and blue are the color of God's eyes. There's a bell that rings when the school day ends. That's not the bell that rings for me. Sitting here till I make amends. Sitting here till I am free. Only then will it ring for me. The morning air so damp, the dew. I know you can feel it too. Burning off this childish pain. Help me see the endless change. Running again and again I stray. From what do I run away? Searching for what is underneath. Knowing here I am complete. Searching for what is underneath. Knowing that here I am complete.
A Sikh reading by Teg Bahadur. Why do you go to the forest in search of the divine? God lives in all and abides with you too. As fragrance dwells in a flower or reflection in a mirror, so the divine dwells inside everything. Seek therefore in your own heart. Unitarian Universalists worldwide begin their services by lighting a chalice. At this time, I'd like to call Callie up. Callie is 4. Callie likes Studio Ghibli movies, loves to swing, and watches Bluey. And as Callie lights the chalice, let's say, in the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now please rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 398, To See the World.
To see the world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour. To see the world in a grain of sand and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand and eternity in an hour.
Now comes a time in our service where we honor the personal joys and sorrows of the members of our community. And before you leave after the service today, if you did not do so on your way in, please take a moment to place a stone or a shell in the bowl at the back of the sanctuary on my right, on the first floor, or at the back of the balcony on the left, if you would like to physically mark what you are holding in your heart today. For those of you in Zoom, if you have a personal joy or a sorrow you would like to share with our Seaview community, please type it into the chat box at the bottom of your screen. Those joys and sorrows that are of a personal nature will be read into the sanctuary. In addition to the caring team, as part of the caring ministry of this congregation, we also have pastoral associates who are available for you to talk to if you have the need. You may contact them via email at laypastoralcare@seaview.org. You may also leave a confidential message for either the caring team or the pastoral associates by calling 757-632-4873. May each of us draw upon whatever gives us strength and hope, whether it is the God of many names or no name at all, the great force that courses throughout and is the universe, the divine spark within each of us, or this community that we love and value as we hold in our hearts all that has been spoken into this space this morning, in person and online, and all that has not. But may we, in particular, find solace in the fact that we are here to journey with one another, to share in the sorrows and rejoice in the joys. And now let us enter into a moment of silence to mark this sacred space that we share. We will now close our silence and honor the different faith journeys we represent here in song. The middle message.
Well, I don't have anyone hiding in the back, so we'll just do it from here, since I see a few people are already here. So this morning, does anyone know what the difference between inherent worth and inherent dignity? All right, well, that's good. Inherent dignity is the worth and respect that all humans deserve and the ability to have self-worth and self-respect. Worth, the quality or state of being honored, esteemed, or worthy. So it made me sort of start to think about, what about the word inherent? And a great word that we've been sort of in the news a lot, inalienable, such as inalienable rights. Well, they're synonyms, I found out. That means something is involved in the essential character of something or cannot be taken away or denied. So the inherent dignity, the inherent worth cannot be taken away, cannot be denied, no matter what some people may say or act or believe. So, we all have inherent dignity, inherent worth. What makes us unique? Our differences. Experience. Our choices. Perceptions. Of course, we could all say the artificial things that we all see, hair color, skin color, eye color, whether you're tall, short, slim, chubby, all of those kinds of things. But really, it's the words that you just gave us. It's the inherent that is in all of us. So when Wendy was talking about her sermon, and I was sort of going through, sort of thinking about the inherent dignity of every person, it definitely is a fundamental teaching of the Dharma and Buddhism. So that's really all I have to say because I know that Wendy even though I studied with a Buddhist teacher for 10 years, I feel like she's more the expert, Wendy is, than I am. So I'm going to leave the sermon part to her of talking about the inherent worth and dignity of all people. Blessed be.
Now comes the time in our service when we invite you to make financial gifts to benefit and sustain the ongoing ministry of this church. And the ministry of this church not only consists of what we do within these walls, both real and virtual, but what we do that extends beyond these walls as well. One way that we do that is through our generosity. Each month, we will share 50% of the money collected as the offering that is not designated as a pledge payment. It is hoped that this will lead to greater connections and wider impact. So the organization we are giving to this month is the Elizabeth River Project in July and Transgender Assistance Program in August. If there's any representative of those organizations, you're welcome to speak now and just, okay. Supporting organizations such as this is just one way for us to live our principles that honor the inherent worth and dignity of all people and justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Giving our time, talent, and treasure to the organizations that matter to us and that improve our lives and the lives of others is a spiritual practice for those of us who call ourselves Unitarian Universalist, and it is one we should not shy away from. More importantly, it is necessary to our survival. If you wish to donate by cash or check, you may deposit your gift in the basket as it comes around. If you'd like to give electronically, the screen behind me provides a variety of ways that you can do that. And as you set your intention for giving, we will listen to another musical selection from Sarah Chapel. Your donations will be gratefully received.
All right, so I took up the mountain dulcimer during COVID. And I wrote a song on it, and it's called Mother Walking. So that's what I'm going to play for y'all now. Somewhere in a forest deep, a tired mother soon will sleep, with fire, dust, and food sack hum, and taste of whiskey on her tongue. She will rise with the dawn, and she will walk on and on. When she's weary, she will rest, and when she's hungry, she will eat. Oh, she will sing out to the woods and do her troubled mind some good. Oh, she will bathe in the rain, and she will push through the pain. She'll get
my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. She is Wendy Jayvanti. Wendy is a mom and a grandma. Her profession for 40 years was that as a psychodynamic psychotherapist. She is now retired. In her golden years, she has chosen to deepen her spiritual practice. As such, she is a Buddhist monastic in training and a human being in ongoing training. Wendy.
It is an honor to be here. Geez, you guys don't know me very well, and I don't know you very well. Some of you I know very well, like my daughter and my good friend Vicky there, but I just wanted to let you know two things about me. One is that I really care, and the other one is that no matter what lens we approach our lives with, the inherent dignity and worth of every person is a universal truth. Therefore, I respect each and every one of your beliefs and your perspectives. So as I talk this talk today, I have to give you a little bit of, I feel I have to give you a little bit of background about Buddhist philosophy. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll kind of ground it a little bit and just talk about our everyday lives. So first of all, I have a little metaphor here, and I use this when I facilitate the meditation group, the group meditation group, because if you understand the depth of what I'm doing now, you'll understand the depth of Buddhism, and you'll understand the depth of what it means to be a unique human being that has inherent worth and dignity. Okay, so I'm going to blow bubbles. Okay, do it a little bit more just because it's fun. I'm having fun now. Can you see it? What? Do they want to collect it? The little ones? They can if they want. You want to collect the bubbles? Sure. Hold on, I got to get down and up again because I'm getting a little old. No problem. Whoa! All right. Here's the bubble. All right, we can do this better. There you go. All right, guys. All right, for us big kids, whatever. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Buddhist philosophy. I have to wipe off my fingers first of all with all this soap. Please be careful on those steps if anybody decides to come up and go down. Can everybody hear me now? Okay. Cool. Okay. So this exercise is a metaphor to help you understand truth from a Buddhist perspective. There is existence, bubbles. These are seen and unseen. Do you guys know what I mean by seen and unseen? Pretty much, right? They are subject to birth, life, and death. Therefore, they're impermanent. And they have no inherent self. In other words, they're always subject to causes and conditions, just like the bubbles. In other words, they were subject to my dropping the bottle, they're subject to my blowing on them, and they're subject to the water that goes into them, maybe the rain and the water from the tap, and so on and so forth. And so existence is one part of this, and we are existence. We as human beings are existence. We are subject to birth, life, and death. And then there is an ultimate reality or truth. This is beyond the influences of matter such as time and space. We're in this space, and this is time, and this will never be recreated again. This is beyond the finite. It's infinite, and it's beyond the limited. It's beyond the finite and the limited mind. It's free from suffering, and it's infinite bliss. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing phenomena. And we are that. It is not subject to death or decay. It's called the void in Buddhism, or emptiness, but it isn't void. It actually is full of potentiality, and it has 5 elements in it that are called abstract elements, the abstract element of air, earth, fire, water, and ether. This is a fundamental teaching in Buddhism. Buddha lived about 2,500 years ago, and he observed and conceptualized his or our human condition. It's really amazing. He was a real person. From his life experiences, he developed and concretized his teachings to help other beings know, and I say the word know with capital K-N-O-W, because knowing is this inherent part of us that just knows. It can't be explained. It's sort of part of our Buddha nature, which I will talk about later. It was an act of love and wisdom. He taught that we have a Buddha nature. I said I'd talk about it later. That was quick. Which is, which is the ultimate reality. We are energy beings in a human form. He taught that we can awaken that Buddha nature, or that inherent part of us that is already this ultimate reality, and it's very real, and that energy body can merge with the ultimate reality, and that's called nirvana nirvikalpa. That's nirvana. That's the experience of nirvana. And it is real because the merging takes place more and more and more. And as the energy body awakens more and more and more, the merging takes place more and more, and we experience it more and more. We experience more love, we experience more happiness, we experience more joy. And everybody here is on that journey, no matter who you are, as long as we're in human form. He also taught that the universe is energy in motion. It's limitless, and it's pure and ultimate reality, which is a void, empty of any preconditions and unaffected by conditioned phenomenal, conditioned phenomenal world, which is existence. Therefore, the existence is conditioned, and it's subject to birth, life, and death. It occurs in time and space. And the universe is continual and in constant state of change. We humans are part of this universe. We are comprised of this energy in motion. We are this energy in motion, both in the seen and the unseen world, in the ultimate reality, and conditioned phenomenal world, and the conditioned phenomenal world or existence and the ultimate reality are not separate. Rather, they are different expressions of the same ultimate reality. In this human configuration, we have body, and we have feelings, and we have senses, and a consciousness, and an unconscious, and mental formations, and a brain that is conscious. This human form is comprised of the abstract elements that I talked about: air, earth, fire, water, and ether. And it's subject to birth, life, and death, which we all know. They disintegrate over time, and they are impermanent. But that we are energy beings in a human body, we continue. The body-mind complex, like the rest of the conditioned phenomenal world, is subject to birth, life, and death, but the inherent Buddha nature is not. The inherent Buddha nature is truth. Our truth is inherent Buddha nature. So it's both. It's truth and it's our truth. We forget this because we are in human form, and all of us kind of experience this because the human form is primed to survive. We need to be in a human body in order to experience enlightenment or nirvana. But we also are in this human form. We have to focus on our physical survival, and so we get lost in that. So the Buddhas taught and had teachings to deal with this dilemma. Buddhist practice, which is what I do pretty much a lot of my time now, has 2 goals. One is to awaken the inherent spiritual essence which is part of who we are, and therefore already is undifferentiated. But there's an awakening that happens because it's kind of buried under all of this stuff that's inside of us and that we've experienced in our emotions and our feelings and our body and all of that stuff. The second is to clear away the contaminants or obscurations or the defilements that cover this inherent nature. When they are eliminated, we automatically become aware that we already are this Buddha nature. It's really amazing because it really does happen that way. And this is, Buddha lived 2,500 years ago, and it's still true today. So it's really a truth. And it's because we have an inherent dignity and worth, because we are in this amazing Buddha nature and this amazing human being, and nobody can take that away from us. Nobody can touch that. We just have to remember it. So as a result of this, when we do this purification and we do the two goals of Buddhist practice, we suffer less, we have more joy, we live in peace in our lives, both with ourselves and with others. We become wiser, we have less doubt, less confusion, so that our choices become more and more in alignment with universal values and laws. And again, the inherent dignity and worth of us as a human being, and we really claim that more and more. So I'm going to ground this just a little bit. So many years ago, because I jogged. Now I move slow. But anyhow, I ran on a track that was surrounded by grass and interspersed with clover. And before I jogged, I would kind of look at the grass and the clover, and it would all be one, and it would be undifferentiated. After I jogged, I would return to my Buddha nature. I didn't know it at that time because I hadn't come along in my practice the way I am now. But I would feel this alignment with universal consciousness, which is love, basically. And I would remember and I would experience every clover and every blade of grass as part of the whole universe. And it was an experience. And it was amazing to me because I didn't know a whole lot about this stuff. In the complexity and the stressors of our day-to-day lives, we all lose sight of that. We all lose sight of our Buddha nature, ourselves, and our uniqueness. This is the human condition, and it's a human dilemma, because we have to be in a human body in order to know that we are not a human body, but and then we have to let go of knowing that we're a human body in order to know that we're not a human body. It's really quite a paradox. So I pose 3 questions today to further understand our humanness and our human understanding, so that we can help ourselves in our own spiritual and human development. Okay, the questions are, why do we lose sight of our true nature, the Buddha nature? The second one is, why is it important to be aware of this human condition? And the third one is, what can we do to change it so that we don't lose sight of who we are individually and collectively? And boy, are we dealing with that one nowadays. All right. In regards to losing sight of our true nature, there are 2 factors that shape our mind. And mind is intellect and feelings, okay? It's not just this. Regarding the 2 factors are nature and nurture, okay? In regards to nature, this body has an animalistic component to it, which keeps us alive. And we really need it. And it's actually very cool that we are that. We have feelings like fear and anger and doubt and jealousy and arrogance and greed and confusion, which are part of our biological system. They're warning signs so that the body-mind system can know when it's in danger and can protect itself. But this nature also, or this mind that I said was both intellect and feelings, also has an inherent human condition, and that is to give and receive love. That's the Buddha nature. We are born with this, and we already are this, and we will be this from now on until eternity. So as in regards to nurturing, the nurturing that we are exposed to, the quality, the quantity, the particular characteristics of the nurturing we receive shapes our mind, this body mind. The human capacity for giving and receiving love can be superseded by the animalistic tendencies because of the nurturing that we receive. Or the human capacity to love, to give and receive love to ourselves and others individually and collectively can be nurtured and can be supported by the nurturing that we receive. So it's really important that when we raise kids, we raise them in a good way, as the natives would say. Every human being is exposed to negative and positive nurturing. The process of nature and nurture starts from the moment we are in utero, basically. If we are born into or forced to survive in conditions that threaten our physical and mental well-being, war, famine, violence, natural disaster, abuse, dysfunctional families, neglect, abandonment, are some of the conditions that undermine the development of our ability to give and receive love. In addition, societal norms and traditions that are developed to concretize and how to raise children and live in a good society can also be developed in a way that undermines our inherent ability to give love. Examples of this are forms of discrimination such as sexism or racism, slavery, misogyny, caste system, classism, or religious persecution. Using violence as a tool to discipline also leaves emotional scars. And when our inherent uniqueness is threatened, the body-mind complex knows this. We are programmed, like I said, to protect ourselves and survive. And the survival instinct is preeminent. We need, particularly for the body, and we need to be in the body to learn how to live and receive love. When the body-mind complex is continually threatened and compromised, it adapts to that particular situation. And the body-mind has an astonishing capacity to adapt and survive. Oftentimes, these adaptive thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are not congruent with giving love and receiving love. Systems develop, become entrenched inside us and in our collective environment, creating a collective that becomes increasingly less conducive to supporting our uniqueness and more supportive to protecting the institutionalized adaptations. And so the cycle continues and deteriorates generationally. As adults, the hustle and bustle of our day-to-day lives to survive and be automatically, and I mean to be, in the capital B-E, automatically causes our mind to focus outwardly. It is easy to forget who we truly are. So the second question was, why is it important to be aware of this human condition? If we know that we are animalistic and have animalistic tendencies, and the human capacity is actually to give and receive love, we can choose. What do we choose? We can choose to be like an animal and evolve into behaving from a place of fear rather than love. Love is the opposite of fear. Love takes many forms, such as justice, benevolence, kindness, acceptance, respect, mutuality, generosity, the 8 principles of Sevice. These are human values and behaviors that are present in all of us. The animalistic traits are also present. Life is a series of opportunities and situations to develop our humane, loving qualities. Through these opportunities, we acquire wisdom. It is through choosing to give love, its feelings, thoughts, and actions that we receive love both individually and collectively. And it's important to know that we have a choice. And by being conscious, remembering who we are inherently, which is the divine. Lastly, what can we do to change the dilemma? We can make a choice to let go of the parts of ourselves that cause suffering. We can make a choice to become more loving of ourselves and others. We have to know there is a choice before we choose. Life is constantly evolving. Like I said, the universe is energy in motion. Existence is impermanent. We can grow and we can change. What an amazing, amazing, amazing gift it is to be in a human form. To have a mind, a heart, an intellect, and a Buddha nature, and an inner force that creates an an individual and collective human consciousness of love that supersedes fear. For example, there's a bird feeder outside the kitchen window where I live, despite there being more than enough for everyone, including the squirrels who want to usurp it. These animals fight over the bird seed. We don't have to be like the birds fighting over the seed or the squirrel that could destroy the feeder out of ignorance and fear of survival. We can choose to remember and be the human who generously established the bird feeder, the human who chose to nurture the animals, and in turn gets great joy watching it every day. It is through choosing to give love and its inherent qualities that we receive love, both individually and collectively. And finally, what can we do individually and collectively to more spontaneously feel and think and act from this place of wisdom and love, living up to our inherent worth and dignity? The key to this, as Shakespeare said, is to thine own self be true. Our ability to be compassionate and wise with others is contingent on our ability to be compassionate and wise with ourselves. The more we can truly feel and conceptualize our own consciousness and our unconscious mind-heart complex, the deepest part of ourselves, the more we can truly see others. Why? Because although each of us is unique in our life experiences, we all emerge from and are the greater whole, the ultimate reality. The human heart and human feelings are universal. It doesn't matter where you grow up, what color your skin is, what gender you are, what age you are, even in infancy, we all have this inherent worth and dignity, the Buddha nature. Also, we all have variations of developmental experiences. We all have come from family. How these are negotiated varies from circumstances to circumstance, but that they exist and are true is universal. When we internally, truthfully embrace our unique selves, we can move beyond it and embrace the universal, which we are a part of. And some tools for this are psychotherapy, meditation, relationships, mentors, teachers, education. The biggest tool is remembering and affirming your own worth and dignity as a human being, and remembering and treating everyone you come into contact with that same sense of dignity. So I chose the song Light One Candle as an affirmation of your own worth, particularly in terms of what we're dealing with nowadays, because it's been very difficult, and yet we still have to hold on to who we are. And so it's really, I want you to sing your hearts out when you sing this song, because you're singing to yourself and to your own light. Okay?
Okay, yeah, stand up, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Closing hymn.
And now please join us in body and spirit in singing our closing hymn.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children. We think that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terror
All right, we are doing the closing words, and the Buddhist saying is, be ye lamps unto yourselves, be your own confidence, hold to the truth within yourselves as to the only lamp. And we need to extinguish the flame. We have Callie? Callie? Hi, Cal. She blows out bubbles pretty good. Thank you. Yay. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And we have announcements, is that correct? Oh, Sarah's gonna sing the prelude. Okay.
Sarah and hopefully the whole congregation. So, oh good, it's up there. This is a song I found that I just really loved, and I thought it was a great parting song. So I'm gonna sing it through twice, and you can join me whenever you feel like you would like to, and we'll sing it a couple more times, okay? Okay. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me, because I am in you and you are in me. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me, because I am in you and you are in me. Maybe once more. No coming, no going, no after, no before. I hold you close to me. I release you to be so free, because I am in you and you are in me, because I am in you and you are in me.
Thank you, Sarah. So these are the announcements. First announcement I'll take. We need help with serving coffee and cleanup today. We have people to set up, but the place will be a mess if we don't clean up. So if you've done the coffee hour before, we could use your help. And then there are other announcements. Mark?